So I have family all over essentially, and I go and visit Mexico and Panama frequently. So I've been in the communities there and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of like social media and like reading online for sure. I like have the CNN app, and it like keeps I'm very updated with what's going on, and just read articles online through there, and then I'll read like sometimes the Columbia stuff, especially from students. I think it's really interesting, or I'll see like on Facebook different articles that people have written. So that's about what I read. I saw like one article from a coordinator actually here that she wrote about Latino, but other than that, especially like in our area, very little. St. Louis sometimes, but it's generally poor things to say, like negative things to say about the Latino community or recent like immigrants and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of it has to do with illegal immigration in the end. So I think that's the majority of it, but really I rarely see or read things in Colombia. I think there's a really big stigma with Latino community, and it's viewed as very like negative, and it's kind of fearful for other people to look into, especially in Colombia. I mean, even where Central Latino is and like surrounding neighborhoods, they aren't very good neighborhoods to be living in and to be around. So I think journalists and researchers and stuff would be fearful to even come to do their research and look into it. And then just like the negative stigma of it all, when you think of like the Latinos in the States, a lot of it is thought of all the legal issues. And so it's kind of the immediate reaction. And so it's really sad because there's a lot of, diversity that's grown, and there's a lot of minorities that are doing really incredible things in their communities and around the nation. And so it's really too bad that it has to be in that light and with that stigma. But they've had and suffered with a lot of different like inequalities and injustices with lack of services that have been brought to them, especially in Colombia. Whether that be like health and education, a lot of them can't afford to live in really great areas at the moment. And then that automatically puts their children in these public school districts that are very poorly funded. And then, they struggle to find consistent jobs that want to keep them working when they are hardworking people. But it's hard because there's a language barrier, and there's a lack of services for them. And so it's tough because you think of the Latino population in Colombia, and it does seem like very poor and, just struggling, and then that's an issue for a lot of people, and then they aren't seen as like hardworking, and so there are some of the hardest working people ever, and there's a lot of companies and businesses that have done a lot of research on that and have noticed that, but still the whole stigma is such a big issue. And so I think diversity in itself, when you're coming to a country not knowing anyone and not being able to speak the language, it's easy to put yourself in communities with people that are dealing with those same issues, and then they're just kind of all together. And I think that's a big issue in Colombia, but it's also such a common thing for all the minority groups across the nation. It's hard. I can't even imagine. I obviously grew up in a better area, and my dad was white, my mom was Hispanic, so I don't even know what that's like, even as Latina myself. But I can't imagine, coming to a whole new place, and a lot of people don't really have that compassion, wanting to understand that. I mean, I think all in all, people have to want to do the research and want to learn about it, and there's a lot of people that don't want to, and not necessarily, students and like even CNN or like different major like journalistic and journalism companies, like they have a fear of not getting the people to read their stuff or get people to be interested and keep being in the loop with those kind of things that they don't care about. And so it's hard to put these issues into a positive light. And I think looking at the diversity and acknowledging and seeing the Latino community as like very hardworking people, and not focusing on the fact that they are here, like, and they have inequalities and stuff, but that they are very hardworking, and like acknowledging the fact that even coming here to the States in itself takes an insane amount of courage that I don't think I even would be able to have. So seeing the positive light of that is really important. And then I think looking at different different jobs that people are doing in the Latino community, like Eduardo, who's like a nurse and has done this whole thing for Central Latino and for the community. It's incredible, and he's an awesome example of a successful and hardworking person that's really making a difference. And so there's people like him, and then there's lots of other Latino people working in lots of different job industries. And seeing that diversity and not focusing on the negative sides of it, I guess, because then that puts Latinos in a better light, all in all. Media broadcasting that's happened in the States, a lot of it is primarily American citizens and white people, I guess. Maybe for some of the smaller media stations that are based in Latino areas, there may be some. Other than that, I don't think there's a lot.